Good morning. Welcome back into Wake Up America. Happy Thursday morning. If you were just watching, I want to welcome back in our all-star political panel here on Wake Up. We start with our White House correspondent down in D.C., Emerald Robinson, former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCoy, former Trump campaign aide Rick Gates is with us, Project 21 National Advisory Board member Christopher Arps, and our constitutional attorney Amir Benno. Amir, I said last block that I was going to come to you. So we had the father of a student, a 16-year-old young man in high school, a football player, a totally normal kid, all right, just like so many kids that have been affected by this pandemic. And he took his own life. And he left a note, and he basically said, and his father, it was a really tough interview, but his father said, you know, people just aren't aware of this. Governors, mayors, particularly left-leaning that have shut down these states, they're not aware of the effect on kids that are, you know, teenagers, and they're missing out on so much time. And now we're entering the second year of this.
It's terrible. It's terrible. They don't care. I guess the kids are not, they're not a voting bloc, so they're not of concern to these politicians. It's a sad fact. It's an indictment on progressive policies. It's a reality in this world, and it's just deplorable.
Yeah, it's just so sad. I want to talk about Andrew Cuomo. Since Joe Biden took office not long ago, I guess today is 8 days ago, so 7.5 days ago, he took the oath of office. Things have slowly started to reopen. We've seen it in California. It's going to happen in New Jersey. Andrew Cuomo was on with Nicole Wallace on MSNBC, and he was, I'll tell you what, he didn't sound too optimistic about the future. But he says the past, he's done a great job. Take a listen.
We were ambushed like no other state, Nicole. And again, it was from federal incompetence. They thought the virus was in China. It had left China, it had gone to Europe, and it came here for 3 months before they ever knew. Incompetent government kills people. Incompetent government kills people. More people died than needed to die in COVID. That's the truth.
Betsy McCoy, former Lieutenant Governor of New York. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Sadly, per capita, the deaths were higher in New York than anywhere else. Yes, incompetent government kills. And unfortunately, despite Andrew Cuomo's claims that he has done a magnificent job, New York incompetence killed many people during this coronavirus pandemic. Many, many people. We can start with the nursing homes, but it's not just the nursing homes. The very slow rollout of the vaccine in New York has also cost lives among the elderly, particularly, who even to this day can't manage those websites to even make an appointment. The idea that you expect someone in their 80s to go through all of these steps on the internet to try and make an appointment, it's bizarre.
Chris, your thoughts?
You know, I don't know. The lieutenant governor could probably speak to this a little better than I can, but I think Andrew Cuomo may be looking to California and thinking, hey, maybe a recall may be coming my way. So this may be a little CYA there.
Yeah. That by the way, that recall effort has gotten serious.
In New York, we don't.
Yeah, we don't have it, right? There's no recall in the state of New York. That's
right.
Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah. I mean, is there ever going to be, Rick, you know, you could speak to this, and I think, you know, conservatives, Republicans across the country, they feel, I've said this before, disenfranchised. They don't believe the media. They certainly don't trust the government, and it's depressing right now with what's going on. But this could generate a whole lot of sympathy for not only the 2022 midterms, but also President Donald Trump.
Yeah, no question. And I think if you look at what's coming out of the pike in the 2022 midterms, I mean, this is perfect territory for the Republican Party right now. You want to be able to go on the attack. They are going to have so much material to work with within the next probably 3 weeks, much less, you know, a year and a half before the 2022 elections, that it's going to be an opportunity for President Trump and others in the Republican Party to really take advantage. And I think this is why, you know, Kevin McCarthy is meeting with the president today. I mean, you know, Kevin is smart.
Yeah.
He's politically astute in this. And that meeting today, by the way, is as much about optics as it is about substance, because Kevin really believes that the Republicans can take back the House in 2022, but he knows he can't do it without Donald Trump.
Yeah. Emerald, what's going on with that meeting today?
Well, and I think that Rick Gates is very right on saying that it's a lot to do with optics. And look, McCarthy had said some things on the House floor that a lot of Republicans didn't like. They felt like he was not backing former President Trump. So this is a great opportunity for him as well to sort of reclaim that stature with the Republican base. But also it sends a message that former President Trump, is still very much involved in this. He's been a little bit quiet, right, since leaving Washington, D.C. So there's a lot of eyes on this meeting today.
Emerald, has that surprised
we'll have
you?
More for you tomorrow. I'm actually headed to Florida too. So
I know you're heading down there. It looks like, I mean, I know you're outside the studio right now, and it's chilly. It's chilly in D.C. and in New York. So you're going down to Florida. Are you surprised that President Trump has been quiet over the last 8 days?
No, I mean, he's having to prepare a legal defense for a possible and likely Senate trial. And, you know, he's had his social media taken away, which is how we most often heard from him. So I think he's regrouping, and I think we'll hear something soon, especially after today. He's now opened the office of the 45th president. So he has an official office open, and he's putting people in place. He's getting staff, and so he's building up his post-presidency operation, and I think we're going to hear more very soon.
Hey, Betsy, and then Rick, I want to hear what your opinion is about this. That office of the president, the former president, no one's done that before. Donald Trump has been a trailblazer in so many ways. Normally a president retires and they become what you call like a statesman. You see them at banquets and events and openings and ribbon cuttings. Donald Trump is very much still working for the American people. It didn't surprise me at all that he opened up this office for the former president. I don't know why that hasn't happened before.
No, I think it's an important move. And I wanted to tap in on the other very important issue you just raised, which is the midterm elections and the impact of these very adverse executive orders that have just come out. Yeah. Look at states like Arizona and New Mexico that will be very affected, not only by the anti-fossil fuel executive orders putting people out of work, but also by the border orders, the immigration orders, because if there is no county in the United States suffering more, for example, from coronavirus than Yuma. And when you look at New Mexico, Arizona, Southern California, anything that's going to open that border is going to really cause big problems with coronavirus. Those migrants coming across that border aren't getting nasal swabs or vaccines.
That's a good point, Betsy. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, I was going to say, the polling data shows, I mean, the support for the president is very, very strong. And I think just as he, announced his reelection the day after he was sworn in, opening an office is very tantamount to what he's going to do moving forward. And, I think to what Emerald was saying, he will come out very shortly. He's certainly the social media has tampered that down a little bit, but they're finding ways to get his message out. And there's no question, Ronna McDaniel had said that the GOP is going to remain neutral in GOP races in primaries, over the next 2 years. President Trump, I can assure you, will not remain neutral and will be out there in full force, postulating his agenda and support for those individuals that he likes.
I have some more good news for Republicans, by the way. That's why I love these panels. We have a whole agenda of things we're going to talk about. We get to like one thing because we're all enjoying the conversation so much. But you guys will be back at the top of the hour. But yesterday, members of I've never heard of this before, so I want to get it right. The Oath Keepers militia were indicted on charges that they conspired to storm the Capitol. That is going to be devastating to the argument that President Trump incited violence. Chris, I'll give you the final thought.
Well, I think that's just one trope that they're still trying to use to indict the president or convict him in the Senate. I don't think it's going to work at all. I mean, the American people see what's going on, and this is just political payback. What's even worse is you have President Biden having the Justice Department, which was announced Monday, investigating his predecessor. So I think the American people will see what this is really all about.
Panel, great stuff. By the way, I've got it circled 21 months from now, midterm elections. Can't wait. All right, guys, we'll see you at the top of the hour. Thanks. Great conversation there. I enjoyed it.